What's some basic knowledge that a scary amount of people don't know? Antibiotics do not work on a virus. Edit, I did not expect this to blow up this much. Thank you so much for the awards and the shared information. How long it takes a semi-truck to stop. It always makes me mad when I pass a semi, give them enough space before getting up over, and some asshole decides that the space I was leaving for the semi to need to stop is actually for his dumbass to slide into. I'd swear so many people think one car length is plenty of room when everyone's going 70 mph 110 kph. After actually riding in one for a job I had, it's mind-boggling how many people treat it like a regular vehicle or think it's powered by some magic fairy dust to stop on a dime. Not to pour water into hot oil. Edit. Damn, this blew up. Lol, I'll also add that this may not be basic knowledge, but it should be. I myself only found out from one of my science electives in year 1112, and even then it was a topic that only came up after a student asked my teacher about an incident that popped up on the news, so chances are it would never have been mentioned otherwise. Schools should at least have a lesson program highlighting the common risks at home and the methods to avoid contain them. Homeroom class would have been a perfect time. We spent the majority of that twiddling our fingers until the bell rang. I put a tiny drop in to know if it's ready sometimes. It booms. I wet my hand and flick towards it to make sure it's hot. It's a minimal amount of water and my hands stay far away. How to spot an obvious scam. Look how many people fall for those clickbait articles and chain posts and propaganda and stuff. Saw something this morning about some chick falling for a fake astronaut scam. Said he needed money to get back to Earth. Just. AFK? People really be this stupid. Space taxis are very expensive and you can't bring much to space with you. That pretty much every machine requires maintenance. Think dishwashers, washing machines, cars, mowers, etc. They aren't magic boxes. And they will last longer if you know how to maintain them. My mother-in-law is in her 80s and until recently didn't know that the dishwasher needs its filters cleaning every so often. Edit, since this blew up a bit, for those that would like to locate their dishwasher's filters, they're different for every make and model. You do well to Google the make and model of the unit and see if you can find a manual. Maybe even YouTube will have some information. YouTube is a great resource for learning about things. Taking my dishwasher as an example, there are some reasonably obvious plastic pieces in the bottom of the washing area that can be slid out unscrewed. There are 3 parts to my filter. Rubber gloves when touching them might be a good idea. Cleaning them is as simple as taking a brush and some soapy water to them to remove all the gunk before reinstalling. You can also buy a plastic bottle full of chemicals that you put into the dishwasher. You run a cycle and the chemicals clean throughout the unit. I do both because I like a clean dishwasher. I do it every month or so, or whenever I notice that dishes aren't getting as clean as they should or some not clean smell. Edit, thanks for the awards. Now clean your dishwashers. First aid. People living alone, please Google how to do a Heimlich on yourself. And remind yourself regularly. It could save your life when you have no one else around. Or if you are choking and alone, know to run to where people will find you. In the middle of the road, or in a busy hallway. If you pass out alone in your house, no one will find you until it's far too late. I loved living completely alone until now. Just leave your door open at all times and run when it's time. FYI, your hands still work when your airway is obstructed. A guest requested their chicken to be cooked medium rare this week. I don't understand why I have to stress that chicken only leaves the kitchen when it's completely cooked. A colleague tried raw chicken hearts on vacation. Some local thing. Was violently ill. Like they always say, best time to enjoy dangerous food is in a foreign country. This needs to be embroidered on a throw pillow. That you should wait for people to get off the elevator when it arrives at your floor, instead of cramming yourself in when the doors open, blocking their departure. And keep walking when you go through a door or step off an escalator. Not if you consider everyone else an NPC and yourself as the main character. I also seriously dislike people who pay absolutely no attention to the people around them. Tax brackets. You only pay the higher rate on the portion above the threshold amount. Edit. Great example video here. This drives me ducking crazy. I work in manufacturing and make enough that we're right below the threshold for the next tax bracket. So many of my coworkers refuse to take overtime only because they think they'll actually make less money on their paycheck than if they didn't. This mentality is so prevalent, even a reply to your comment misrepresents how taxes work. Only the portion of income above the bracket is taxed at a higher rate. It's always better to make more. You never take home less standard income because you made too much money, or however these people think income tax works in fairytale land. Edit. A lot of people are commenting about welfare, which is not relevant to my comment about how income tax works. How to merge in traffic. Specifically zipper merging. People are ducking terrible at that. How to tell if food has gone bad. When I worked in a meat department, we got like one call a day from people saying, I bought this X days ago, is it still good? Lady, I'm not there with you. This ain't a smellophone. You're going to have to use your own senses and brain on this one. My mom will always use meat before the date on the package and refuse to use meat even one day after. It's infuriating. I've had too many conversations that go, man, this bacon doesn't taste right. Yeah, I know, it smelled funky in the package, too. Then why did you cook it? It doesn't expire until tomorrow. Just because it's natural doesn't mean it is automatically healthy. Just because it is artificial or synthetic doesn't mean it is automatically bad for you. Had my GF tell me yesterday that carbonated water was bad for you because it has too many chemicals in it. I almost screamed back, it has two? And one of them is the water. 100% of people who have drank water eventually died. Water is the most addictive substance known to man. Just try to wean yourself off of that shit and see what happens. H2O withdrawal is a mother ducker. Most addictive substance ever heard of? Oxygen? The stuff is even worse without the hydrogen atoms. Where their water shutoff is in their house. Evidence-based reasoning and what evidence means. Prove it. That the scientific meaning of theory isn't what the colloquial sense means. More generally, there are a lot of terms that mean one specific thing within a certain field or industry that means something completely different when talked about in a different field or just in the general population. Edit. When I wrote this comment, I was mainly thinking about innocent examples like how non-IT people sometimes refer to their computers as a CPU. It's pretty cool that everyone has taken this and given much more important examples and discussion. If anyone didn't already know, in technical terms, a CPU refers to the main chip inside your computer responsible for most of the general purpose processing. And some people abuse that fact to mislead others, which is the actual problem. Fun fact, when a mathematician says almost everywhere, the exceptions can still be as large as the set of rational numbers, which has Lebesgue measure 0. On probability, for things that have a statistically negligible but non-zero chance of happening. So academically you can't say it's impossible, because it's false, but then cue the layperson, so you're telling me there a chance. Yes, Billy, it's not technically impossible for you to roll 100 sixes in a row, but I'd be willing to bet my left nut that a rogue black hole wipes our solar system out before that happens. It's much more likely it's a loaded die. It is very easy to not block the whole aisle with your cart at the grocery store. How a four-way stop works. Every hurricane in Florida, we've several traffic lights go out. People are supposed to treat it like a four-way stop, but instead they do this nonsense. Oh, he went? 10 more of us will go. It's fine. I actually saw one light where people were doing it correctly after Ian and I nearly shit myself, I was so shocked. I'd almost prefer that to what happens in the Midwest. Every four-way stop is a nightmare because people want to be polite and wave at you to go first, even if they were sitting there stopped before you even rolled up. Be predictable, not polite. Don't dive in the water to save a drowning person. They will kill you. Throw them a flotation device. Hand them a broomstick and pull them to safety. Do not get in the water with a panicking person. Wait until they are unconscious and then dive in to retrieve them. Source: years of swim lessons and unfortunately knowing somebody who has died trying to rescue somebody. Part of my dad's job was being a rescue swimmer for the fire department. In doing so, he's broken the noses of few people. Sometimes you have to bop them in the nose. The punch of life.